Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I've got a warning for you, and it's in how do I even put it? I don't know even how I would put it. This has to do with food. Food inflation is getting worse and worse and worse, not only because of supply chain issues, because of money velocities picking up, and people have very serious, real memories of shortages, especially like the toilet paper shortage back in 2020, 2021, and then leading into empty shelves, bare shelves. Now we've seen pictures all over the internet. Some have been, are old photos that are, people are making look like they're new, and or you see those the photos of bare shelves in a grocery store, like meat section, but it's clearly, in a time where they're just cleaning out. I've worked at grocery stores. They're moving the inventory, cleaning out the freezer or the refrigerator, and then putting the meat back. Okay. So there's that stuff. So people are going, there's food shortages happening, which there are, and there's food shortages. Here are the photos, but they're not like what you think. It's not real, right? But there are real food shortages. And I want to go over two very important articles in the mainstream press right now having to do with Russia and Ukraine. And it is very, very real. And it's funny because I'm going to talk about a video I did about, I don't know, a year ago about coffee. And I said, hey, there's this massive die-off, this freeze, this frost that happened. If you like coffee, why don't you just buy some now? Because the price is going to go up because there's a shortage coming because of all this massive percentage of all coffee beans. The plants were destroyed, right? And I had somebody come out and say, I wish I'd never would have listened to you about that. I'm like, why? They're like, this, well, there's not a shortage. I'm like, yes, there is a shortage in coffee beans. There is right now. This year, we produced less coffee beans than we did the year prior to that because of environmental issues. And they said, well, there's still coffee in my store. I'm like, that has nothing to do. Just because you see some coffee in the store, you just don't even know. Like I talked to my local Costco manager, and he actually brought me through the Costco, and he pulled out 33% of the steel shelving, and it was actually brilliant. He showed me on the ground where the steel shelving was and how they patched over it to make it look like it's not there, and they expanded their center section. They widened their aisles. Why? They simply do not have the same amount of food and goods right now to sell you than they did years ago. All right. And the prices are going up. So that person, I'm like, what'd you do? Buy like 10 truckloads of coffee? I'm like, only an idiot would do that. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm like, if you're led in fear rather than information and knowledge, you go do something stupid. Well, that's on you. I said, if you like coffee, buy your supply for you, not the rest of the world. But we're going to talk about food supply shortages, and I'm going to share these links below. And I have gotten an affiliate link because people were asking about emergency supplies and freeze-dried food. Or not only freeze-dried food, but storable food, right? Long-term storage food, that the stuff that is in buckets. I'm going to drop the link in the comment section below. It does help the channel, but it's because food is starting to go up so fast, and you can only store it so many different ways and put it in places in your house where you can actually stack it up in a nice little area, and it actually has tons of calories, and it's packaged in a way that it lasts a long time. That's where a lot of people have a lot of issues. Okay, so let's dive right into these stories. I'm sorry for keeping you so long. Let's share the screen real quick, and we're going to dive right into this. Now, the first story, this one is going to make you have a little bit of optimism, right? Because the narrative has been, well, let's just dive in. Vessels await word that they can carry the first grain shipments out of the Ukraine. Now, ever since Russia moved into Ukraine, we all know that the supply chain for food exports, especially out of Ukraine, have been severely hampered, which has only been adding to the price increase because traders on Wall Street bid up the futures in certain asset classes, this one being food and commodities, and that adds to it. But then there's the realization that, oh man, we aren't getting food from Ukraine. All right. And to anybody that would leave some lame comment like, well, it doesn't matter, they don't produce that much. I don't care if they only produce like one thing, a little bit. If that thing's gone, then somewhere else in the world, they've got to make up for it. And I don't know if you've been paying attention to the news, like what's going on in the US with this massive drought. We are unable to produce as much food as we could earlier as well. So everything's coming together as a perfect storm for food. That's why I tell you about these links. Start looking into emergency food preparedness, because even if you don't have an earthquake or a massive tornado or something that knocks out the local food supply, and you're like, look, I can eat this stuff, right? Just looking at the inflation story is big enough. All right, sorry. So here we go. This is out of Odessa, Ukraine. The first shipments of grain since the starting of the struggle in Ukraine have been loaded onto freighters at Ukrainian ports on the Black Sea, preparing for his or her first voyages in additional than 5 months. I don't even understand that sentence. So it says right here, the president, Zelensky, and representatives of the Group of Seven industrialized nations visited Chernomorsk, one of the 3 ports, on Friday, and have stated that they are prepared for the grain to go out to the nations hit laborious by meal shortage. Oh gosh, the ninja is reading. Sorry. So the whole point is they've loaded up these boats and they're waiting. Hey, they're idling. We're going out, right? But the fact of the matter, they hadn't gotten the go ahead to start shipping out these shipments. Now that was a couple of days ago, right? Now let's talk about the news story today. This is happening today. So this was a couple days ago. The shipments are ready. We're not moving them yet, but we're ready. We're loaded. Let's go. Now today, and this is where you have to really look at the narrative of what they're pushing and how real this could get. Russia hit southern Ukraine city, killing grain exporter, the governor says. Heavy Russian strikes hit the southern Ukraine port city I can't even pronounce that, overnight and early on Sunday. The attacks killed the owner of one of the country's largest grain producing and exporting companies. That's very interesting. The attack actually killed the owner of one of the largest grain producing and exporting companies. We have to really start looking behind this narrative. This gentleman, the founder and owner of agriculture company Nibulon, and his wife were killed in their home. It is absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. My heart goes out to anybody that passed away in these wars, regardless of what side. Gosh, it's horrible. But now look at what the photos they choose. Look at this right here, right? And this is the photo. This is you got to be careful with what you say on the internet. The damage in a destroyed building, which we don't even know is their house, right? And it's about these attacks, right? And now it's hit the owner of one of the largest producers. So 2 days ago, they're giving you a narrative, hey, we're ready to ship. This is real supply chain shortage stuff going on. And now it's like, whoa, everything just changed. Look, you need food, and you need food. I'm gonna link these stories below so you guys look at it. This is not a fear thing. This is a knowledge and understanding. Look at where the world's going right now. If China moves into Taiwan, and we're saber rattling right now with this whole Pelosi crap, there are going to be even more agreements to the world supply chain shut off, turned off at the drop of a hat. If you aren't prepared now, this isn't to scare you. This is really, really happening. I want you prepared and not scared. So when the amazing opportunities come, I don't want BlackRock buying it. I want you buying it. And you can't buy it unless you're ready and willing, but you have a clear mind and a full belly. If the Arab Spring did not teach us anything, if it didn't teach us anything, it taught us one thing. What happens to a population when food costs exceed 40% of your take-home income? I've told you to prepare for this fall. I believe that by the end of fall, you are going to see things in the economy that will make your mouth drop. Store up some food. You don't have to use emergency food. You can go get canned goods, but get something. Think smart. Don't sit there and try and buy an entire store on credit cards and rack up credit card debt that you can't pay because your paycheck is pretty soon not able to keep up and make ends meet. Go around your garage and go find things that you have not used in the last couple of years and sell them on Facebook or on Craigslist. And buy necessities right now. You need necessities because I want you to be prepared for this collapse. And I want good people to buy up the assets of the world, not the mega corporations. Guys, I thank you for everything. And every time you hit a thumbs up, we've seen some channels get taken down recently because they're telling the truth. It's hard to, you don't want to just fluff people. You want to tell them the truth. But truth comes at a cost these days, it seems like. I hope you guys got something out of this. Everybody hits the thumbs up button. I really appreciate it. If you agree with this message, hit the thumbs up button. Put in the comment section what it was like before you knew what was going on and before you started preparing with long-term food and the peace of mind that comes with it. People need to hear your testimony. Tell your testimony down in the comment section below. Get the algorithm firing off and tell people what it was like and the peace of mind that comes. Once you get prepared, you're done. Now you can move on into business and other things and absolutely go and crush it. All right, guys, I'm going to link those stories below. I'm going to put the new food storage link in the comment section. I hope you guys have a great day. With that being said, the Economic Ninja is out.